Okay, so I'm gonna just show you how I've tried to etch these enclosures, these aluminium enclosures. First of all, I've just designed these in Adobe Illustrator, just some designs for the Korg filter. This is a blank box. It needs sanding so that it shines up, looks good. So sand that first. Then I'm going to get this design. I'm going to use this as a drill template, but I'm not going to drill it until I've etched it, because otherwise the chemicals go through the holes and etc. So I'm just going to put that on there, use that as a drill template later. But so I just know all this is fitting, looks good. I'm going to shine this box up, and then I'll go to the next bit where I show you put the transfer on it, heat transfer. This one's for this drone synth. So I'm going to take this apart, shine it all up, take all the bits out of it, and then slap this on. Unfortunately, I've drilled all the holes in here, so I'm going to have to tape them up so the chemicals don't go through when I'm trying to etch it. This is going to go on here. Louder Than a Bomb. Why is it called Louder Than a Bomb? It's homage to a Public Enemy track, Louder Than a Bomb. It's got 2 bombs on it. It's got number 25, Runway 25. When I was a kid, I used to go to the air shows at Woodford Aerodrome in Stockport, Manchester. Every year we used to go to the air show. Woodford has Runway 25, and it's homage to the old aerodrome, which is now no longer there. It's been Demolition Squad came out and they've turned it into houses like they've done everywhere in the world. Gonna etch these 2 boxes. So I'm gonna start with the Korg one. I'll go through, and after I've shined the box up, so you want to go for like sort of coarse to medium grit sandpaper first, wet dry sandpaper. So get it under a tap, start sanding it, and then finish it off with a smoother sandpaper, and then maybe buff it up with a Dremel and get it nice and shiny. I don't like to get it to like a mirror stage, but like shiny, pretty shiny is good. So I got this pack of multi-grain sanding papers and a sanding block. So you can just, you know, go from hard to fine and shine the box up. So what I do is inside you've got some screws. That's P, that's 120 grit. That'd be pretty good to start off with. So just whack the tap on. See, it's not that shiny right now. It's kind of coarse. You want to get that off. So that's it all sanded. I filmed myself sanding it and using the Dremel, but my SD card fucked up, so there you go, that's it all sanded. What I was saying was, you want to, after you've sanded it, give it a good go over with acetone. Get all the grease and grime off it, because the grease and the grime will stop your laser print sticking to the stuff, and don't touch it afterwards, because the grease from your fingers will just stop the laser toner sticking to the enclosure. So the next thing we need to do, spray it with acetone and then get the laser print on there. Alright, so what I've got here is this like it's almost like when you've got stickers and you take the stickers off and you're left with this shiny paper. It's just like shiny yellow paper. You can get it off eBay. It's pretty cheap. Unfortunately, they just whack it in an A4 envelope and send it to you, so it gets all creased up. So you might want to iron it out, get all the creases out. All right, this is my printer. It's a laser printer. It's an MFC L2750DW Brother. It's just a mono laser printer. It just basically does what I want it to do. The density of the ink's not amazing. I wish it was a bit more dense. Maybe on the second toner that I get, maybe it'll just be a bit denser. I literally print these things off on my phone, so I've got all my PDFs on my phone. So basically what you've got here is the design that I showed you before, and what you want to do is you want to flip it, like reverse it, and then put it in inverted as well. I do all of that in Adobe Illustrator, and then we can just literally print it. I'm just going to print this on plain, just to give the printer a run through, and just make sure that everything's like how it should be. Alright, so this is it printed on the sticker paper, and it just tends to roll up. Okay, that's done it really crap, so I'm not going to have that because it's just, you can see the toner's just not gone on very well. So just scratch that, scratch the other. Alright, so I've got this printed out. I'm just going to do the Korg one for now. This one's, I'm just getting a bit, it's not as good on here. I'm going to print it on its own, but I'm just concentrating on the Korg one right now, so I'll just do this for now. Alright, I'm going to get it ironed onto the box. Okay, so the things I've got now, I've got the enclosure on a wooden block like this. It's been sprayed with acetone and wiped down. I'm not going to touch this now, okay? You want your iron on max, and we're just going to heat up the enclosure for 7 or 8 minutes. So the iron's on max, just going to whack that on there. Heat it up for 7 or 8 minutes. If you're like me, you've got a timer on your phone and you can just do that. Alright, so just coming up to about 8 minutes, I'm just going to show you this. We just cut this out. So where it's like yellow, that's where you're going to etch. So that's going to be etched and eaten away at by the acid. And we're going to stick that on there in a sec. So I'm just going to remove the iron for a second, and then I'm just going to get this on here. Right, it's just going to sit in this water now for 8 minutes. Obviously I use pliers to move it with because it's mad hot. Don't touch it with your fingers, obviously. Once that's soaked for 8 minutes, you should be able to just gently peel this back, and the toner should be stuck there. Right, so I've removed the backing paper. This is what we're left with. You shouldn't have any toner on the backing paper at all. It should all be on there, which it is. I've also got like some spots where I can drill my holes. They'll stay on there once it's etched. So everywhere where it's silver is going to be etched in deep, so when you run your finger over it, it'll be indented. Alright, one thing I'm going to add is don't touch it once it's on there. Don't touch it, don't pad it dry, don't do anything with it, just let it dry, because the more you pad it, the more you're going to pull the transfer toner off. You want as much toner on there to stay on there. And then I've just used parcel tape to tape up the sides because we don't want to get those etched. I literally just want to get the silver bits etched, that's all. Alright, I'm just going to get the etchant done and get it in there. Alright, so that's what we're left with once we take all the toner away with more acetone. Get the toner off with acetone. Light sandpaper, water, soap. Get all of that toner off and clean it up. And then we're going to spray it with some of this enamel paint. You just give it a light spray over, and then we're going to sand that off later, and it'll make all this black and it'll stand off a lot better. We're not going to go into the huge detail about what chemicals they use because you know, there's a million ways of doing this. It really is. But I'm just showing you this way that works. Okay, I'm going to spray this and then let it dry for about 4 to 6 hours, maybe overnight, and then sand it off. Alright, so it's spray painted matte black now. You can still see that etch coming through. So when you sand it off, all that black paint will remain in the sides and everything will be black, and then the silver will show through. Alright, so some hours later we have sanded back the black spray paint that I sprayed on there that you saw earlier. So that dried off, and then I just got a really fine sandpaper, just started to sand that back. You don't have to be really aggressive with it because you do want to keep the detail in here and in here. So just be gentle when you're sanding back, and you should get a nice result like that. I mean, you can see that we've got a fairly good etch. Everything's stayed intact. Some people won't be happy with that, but I like the fact that it looks like kind of distressed and old. If you look at my rat pedal one here, this isn't as good as this Korg one, but that's got a quite distressed look on it. This looks actually more dull now. I put matte varnish on it. I don't know if I put matte varnish on it again, but I don't know. That's what happens. But the good thing is with this one, it's not been drilled yet. My drill crosshairs have come out very good, and I can use this really well to start drilling in my holes, and then finally getting the old circuit in there. So just taking out all the guts of the quantum defraculator, which is there, and I'm going to clean up this box. This is the next one that's going to be etched, and then I'll put the guts back in. Hey. Alright, I've just done the toner transfer for this one. That's come out pretty well. It's come out better than I thought because it's such a lot of black on there. Sometimes the toner just breaks up. I'm gonna go in and etch this one now. Alright, so this is the outcome of my etch on the quantum defraculator. It's come out very good. All looking great. So I've drilled some holes in this Korg MS-20 filter, and I'm going to just get all the bits in there. And then I've got my rat pedal, and I'm going to hook all these up with a sampler and just do a quick sound demo of everything, so you can hear what it sounds like.